Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of AB and the Films. I just got back from seeing Rocketman. This is the first film that has come out in 2019 that I have been wanting to see. There's a lot of other ones coming out this year that I want to see, but Rocketman was the first one on my list. So I just got back from the theater, literally just now. And I went to the theater that I used to work at. I don't work there anymore. I worked there for 5 years. And they just remodeled the theater, and it's brand new. I couldn't believe it. It looks unbelievable. I couldn't believe that it was the exact theater. But okay, you don't want to hear about that. You want to hear about what I think of the Elton John biopic, Rocketman. Very well done. Very good. I am a huge Elton John fan. I'm a huge fan of music from my parents' generation. The Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Billy Joel, Genesis, Elton John. So I'm really into that kind of stuff, and Elton John was definitely up there. So when I was about 13, 14 years old, and this is about 12 years ago, I really started listening to Elton John's music. And, you know, like, I think we all know these songs pretty much. Even if you're not a fan of Elton John, I'm pretty sure you know at least one Elton John song. And I remember, so before I get into the movie, I just want to talk about the CDs up there. You can't see them in the shop, but they're above all the tapes and the DVDs here. I actually had the idea to start buying every Elton John album on CD, and I bought 2 of them. Tumbleweed Connection was the first one, and Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. And I bought those 2 albums on CD, and I was really into them. I was playing them in my car all the time, and in my mom's car. And then I realized, oh, he has over 30 albums. Yeah, that's way too much. I'm just going to get the greatest hits. So I bought the greatest hits album, 1970 to 2002. And so I'm really into Elton John's music. I really like the guy. Every time he's in interviews, I'm interested in what he has to say. As far as the movie goes, Rocketman, there were a few surprises in this. Again, I've seen the teaser trailer. When I went to go see Bohemian Rhapsody, they had the teaser for Rocketman playing before that, so I was really excited. And I knew this movie had been in development for a while. Like, apparently Elton John's been trying to make this, I think, since right around when he was doing The Lion King, I think. So early 90s, I think. So it's been in development for a while. I knew it was in development at least the last couple of years. So when I finally saw a teaser for this, I'm like, okay, finally, here we go. I've been waiting for this for a while. There will be spoilers in this, so if you haven't seen it yet, it's only been in theaters for like a day and a half now at this point in time as I'm recording this. So if you haven't seen it yet and you still want to see it, but you don't want me to spoil it for you, spoilers coming up right now. Here we go. This movie's a musical. I was a little, well, I wouldn't say shocked, but it was a different turn of events for a biopic on a songwriter or a musician, you know, because when I went into this movie thinking I was going to see something like Ray, you know, like Jamie Foxx and Ray, or you know, the whole thing with Bohemian Rhapsody, pretty much, because Bohemian Rhapsody just came out in November, you know, a few months ago. So I thought I was going to get something like that, you know, like, all the drug abuse, the alcohol addiction, the whole thing about him being worried about coming out and what people would think, you know, that whole thing. So so that's the kind of movie I thought I was going to get, and that stuff is in there, yes, but a lot of this movie is done. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if this whole production ended up going to Broadway, because it felt like watching a Broadway musical half the time. And it's funny, when I saw the teaser trailer, if you look at the teaser, the first teaser trailer, There's a couple of shots in there that you don't hear the audio, but when you watch it, it's almost like it looks like a musical, just the way people are positioned and the way they're moving. It almost looked like a musical number. And I remember looking at that shot in the teaser, and I'm like, well, is that a dream sequence? Is that a fantasy sequence in the movie? Like, what is it? And it's all throughout the movie. It's throughout the whole thing. They took Elton John songs and meshed them together with this narrative. Almost kind of like what they did with the Beatles Across the Universe. Only this one's a hell of a lot better, you know? But it was interesting. You know, it starts off with Taron Egerton, I think, is how you pronounce his name. By the way, when I heard he was going to play Elton John, and I had seen Kingsman Secret Service, I loved him in that. I thought he was great. My first thought was, he looks nothing like Elton John. Like, how is this going to work? And then the trailers came out, and I'm like, oh, okay, because he's got the hair, he's got the glasses, and the fashion design and everything, and he looks like him. And apparently, he's not that bad a singer. He sings all the songs, you know. Like, he's actually a pretty decent singer. And he's great at playing Elton John, you know, all the tantrums and everything. I mean, he was just perfect. He really. There were times actually when he has all the fashion clothes on when Elton's performing. I thought there were times throughout the movie where I thought I was literally watching Elton John. Seriously, that's how good it is. So the movie opens up with Elton in a group therapy. You know, he's in rehab. He's in a rehab group, and they ask him what he was like, and it flashes back to when he was a child, and they show you everything that happened. And I know a lot of Elton John's biography, because I've seen him on Biography and bios of him and stuff. So I kind of knew who everybody was. I knew who Bernie Taupin was before I went into this. I had heard about his childhood, how he was very good at playing piano, how he was very good at memorizing melodies in his head before he could sit down and play it. He knew it. That's how good he was at playing piano. And I knew about John Reed and all that. So I kind of knew a lot of the stuff. But the way it's drawn out here was very well paced, very entertaining. If you're an Elton John fan, I think you're going to like this, absolutely. All the songs are there. There were a couple of songs that they played I didn't think they would play. Like, they played Amarina, which is one of my favorites from Tumbleweed Connection. And again, if you don't know that song, that's the opener for Dog Day Afternoon from '75. That was a good opening track for that movie. But I was shocked that they played that song. I'm like, really? Because, you know, there's just so many Elton John songs. I mean, the guy's made over 30 albums. And even though they only talk about 1969, 1970, up until about 80... Well, he's getting sober, so it was 89, 1990. So The Lion King, they don't talk about that here. Meeting David Furnish, they don't talk about that in this. They don't talk about Billy Elliot. None of that stuff. None of it. But if I had one peeve with this movie, and again, I don't blame them because, you know, they're still telling a story. They have to make the narrative work. There's a lot of songs that are kind of, like the timeline's a little messed up. Like in 1970, he's at the Troubadour Club, and he's playing, and nobody really knew who he was yet in America. So he's playing at the Troubadour. He's playing Crocodile Rock, and it's a great scene. It's a great song. I love that song. But Crocodile Rock, like, that song wouldn't come out for at least a couple more years. You know what I mean? So they mix and mesh the timeline with the songs. That's, like, my one problem with it. But other than that, it's a great movie. Great songs, great music, great acting. I thought the acting was great. When Taron is high, you know, as Elton John, you know, when he's high, when he's drinking, you feel everything he's going through when it comes to the problems he had with his father, with his mother, and everything in his life, and being taken advantage of by other people. You know what I mean? It's like, and he never felt, you know, properly loved, you know, in a way that he wanted to. Oh man, it was such a good movie. Such a good little movie. I really enjoyed this one. Really did. It did not disappoint. I didn't think it would. So I really, really did enjoy this movie. It's not for the children. This is rated R. This is not like Bohemian. At least Bohemian Rhapsody was rated PG-13. This is a full rated R movie here. This is not for the kids. But it's a lot of fun. Oh man, I just had a lot of fun watching this movie. This was really good. There's also moments of him when he's in the studio with Kiki D recording "Don't Go Breaking My Heart." That was good. You know, he's recording Your Song. He's sitting down at the piano, and it's in the trailers. You know, looking at Bernie's lyrics, and he just has the tune, and he's finding the notes, and he's like, "Oh, this is good. It's a little bit funny. This feeling inside." You know, like it's just. Oh man, this was such a good movie to watch because I'm a huge Elton John fan. So yeah, Rocketman, this was a really, really good movie. People are actually saying online they want the Led Zeppelin movie for 2020. That would be interesting. If they ever do a Billy Joel biopic, that one will be called Piano Man. I'm 100% certain they will call that Piano Man. We'll see what happens. I don't know, because I know like we've had Bohemian and Rocketman came out within a short period of time. So now people are thinking, well, now we're going to get a lot of these movies. Hey, I'm all for it, because when Ray came out back in 2004, when Jamie Foxx was Ray Charles, I wanted the John Lennon movie, to come out the next year. I wanted the Beatles movie. I wanted the Eagles. I wanted, the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton and everybody else, Michael Jackson, all of them, because I'm interested, some things might be fictionalized because it's a story, but overall the songs are there and the acting is good. As long as the acting is good and the story's that good and you have the songs, I'm all for movies like this, man. I really am. So, Rocketman, very good movie, very well acted. Huge Elton John fan, and if you're an Elton John fan, you'll probably enjoy this too. I enjoyed it. So those are my thoughts on Rocketman, and I will see you guys in the next review. Later.